So, I'm gonna end this video. This is my last one on the Breanna Taylor situation. Cause it's just so I keep going all day and all night, man. And and I was gonna speak on the Vlad TV situation, but I don't even want to lump that into this video. This is just so much more serious and so much more real, and it's tragic, man. It's tragic, like truly speaking. So I wanted to speak on this one separately from everything else. And yeah, so I just wanted to bring the. Oh yeah, so let me take off where I left off at when we was talking about protests and people telling blackball Colin Kaepernick and saying you shouldn't be peacefully protesting and things of that nature. So that people still kept getting killed. Excuse me, unarmed black men kept getting killed, and then they started really killing unarmed black women. Like it got to the point where even that started happening after the Colin Kaepernick movement. So the peaceful kneeling and the peaceful protest, what happened was the same thing. Colin Kaepernick got blackballed, and we found out a lot of people show their true face and how they feel. They changed the narrative and made it about the flag because they care more about people kneeling the flag. You got people speaking up, speaking out about people kneeling during the flag that ain't had nothing to say about these people getting killed and their lives getting taken. So once you see these type of things happen, at that point, it really don't matter to me your view and what you say because it ain't about the flag and you viewing it. It's not about that. You obviously is insensitive to the things that the black community is going to at that point because you put more value on people kneeling on the flag than what about the person whose life got took? Oh, no one's life shouldn't get took. That's why they came up with the "Say Our Name" slogan because even when they speak on it, they just speak in general because they know if people dying and they unarmed, it's wrong. So if you're going to speak on it, you have to speak in that manner. But it's general. We want specifics. We want you to say our name. We want you to tell us why it's wrong. We don't want you to say, well, anytime a life gets taken, it's wrong, and we have to all be better people. Like, don't nobody want to hear that. Be specific. Be specific. Like George Floyd, life got taken. He was handcuffed. He sat on that man's neck for 8 minutes. It was a blatant murder. It was a blatant. If it wasn't a hate crime, what was it? It was blatant. So I don't want to hear no general comments about something that should have specifics. Without a question, it should have specifics. I don't want to hear it. So, but anyway. So once after that didn't work and these stuff start happening with what happened in St. Louis and now what's happening in Kentucky and just it's happening from state to state. Like Utah, a situation happened in Utah not too long ago because Donovan Mitchell was speaking up on it when Utah was playing in the playoffs. It hit right there at home. Matter of fact, it's when the guy got shot 7 times in front of his kids and he was unarmed. Thank God he lived. Thank God. Thank God he lived because they gunning us down and most of us is not making it, man. So thank God that man made it to tell his story. But that kept happening. So after that, the Colin Kaepernick, the peaceful kneeling during the flag didn't work. So what's next? People start doing peaceful protests out in the community. And they start off peaceful, but what happens when they start doing peaceful protests and trying to speak up and fight for what's right? The police sending people out there with shields and the big helmets and the tear gas and the gas grenades and different stuff like that. They sending them out there to do all this reckless stuff. Then rioting start happening, looting start happening. And listen, I don't agree with the rioting. I don't agree with the looting, but you force people to be in that situation. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's look at the history. Like, let's look at every time things changed in the country in terms of for the better, in terms of black and race relations. Think about the riots back in the 60s. Think about all these different riots and all these different messed up. Think about the riot in Watts. Think about all this stuff that had to take place in order for change to happen. Because once you start breaking shit and once you start affecting folks' bottom line, and once that pushing that movement, start getting closer to downtown, start getting closer to some of these rural areas, start getting closer to some of these areas that got $1 million houses and got high property values, then that's when people that never would have said anything, that never cared, is going to wake up and start saying stuff. They're going to wake up and start paying attention. They're going to start taking notice because stuff is starting to get tore down and broke up. So people are going to start taking more notice when this stuff happens. It's sad and it's a shame that it has to come to that. Nobody wants to do that. But y'all leaving people with no choice, and we're not about to just sit back anymore and just let y'all do whatever y'all want to us and with us. Nah, something's going to happen from that. It's going to be something that's going to come from it. And that's pretty much what has been happening with the riot and looting. And then what do you got now? Well, I understand it's wrong for them to be killing black people and the racial injustice, but you're rioting and looting, you're tearing up people's property, people is getting hurt, blase, blase, blase. Oh, now you should you could do protests more peacefully. Colin Kaepernick wanted you to do peaceful protests. Why can't you be more peaceful with the protests like Colin Kaepernick did? He believed in peaceful protests. Oh, now y'all believe in peaceful protests. Now you want peaceful protests. Now that's the direction you're going when y'all ignore Colin Kaepernick and blackball this man. But as soon as people start rioting, looting, and tearing stuff up, and it start affecting people's bottom line, because the Walmart up the street from me got shut down. They shut that shit down. That shit was closed for about a week. You know how much money Walmart lost being closed for a week after that? So what you think the common consensus is? The next time they had a protest around the area, they closed Walmart down. But beyond that, Walmart started trying to push the message in the narrative of Black Lives Matter and started trying to speak up and say things because they want us to see that now that they're in the fight with us. So hopefully they're hoping we won't damage any of their stuff. So even if it's for the wrong reasons, it does not matter. It's the change that was caused by these things. A peaceful protest, you think any of that would have happened? No. You think a peaceful protest back in the day we would be where we at without the riots and all that? No. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see, because it's black people mostly getting hurt. They talk about the police officers, but they be out there with shields, protective gear, bulletproof vests on, all that. We out there just as regular people. Like who is facing the threat of being harmed more, them or us? Us. Don't be ridiculous. So nobody wants that, but y'all putting people in a position where they don't really have a choice. Y'all are leaving them without a choice. Without a choice. So when things like that happen, this is the root of it. And then once that happens and it's starting to affect y'all and it's getting closer to downtown, and it's getting closer to those neighborhoods where y'all live at, and it's affecting y'all businesses, now y'all want to speak up on it. Now y'all want peaceful protests. Now y'all want to bring up Colin Kaepernick. Nah, at that point it's too late. So as much as I hate it, if y'all ain't got no other solution to start change or to make change happen or something that's a proven method, then what exactly are we supposed to do? Because the bottom line is we don't want to do that, but we got one choice in terms of what's making a difference, and historically we've seen that it's made a difference. So until y'all come to the table with something else that's either a proven method or something that we can try and works, it's no need of y'all telling us what to and what not to do. Because the bottom line is, if you look at the looters and the rioters, man, you have just as many white people, Spanish people. Like I even seen some Chinese and Asian people. So it's not a black people rioting or looting thing. It's a thing of people rioting and looting because of the injustices that black people deal with. That's where this is coming from. That's the stem of it. And that's what comes when, like he said, rioters is voices of the unheard. If we protest and we speaking up and we feel like things ain't right and we speak on it and y'all don't want to listen to us, rioters is the voices of the unheard. That's what Martin Luther King said. We don't want to riot. We don't want to. But until y'all give us some type of alternative of choices that's going to lead into the right direction and that's going to facilitate this change, precisely what's going to happen. Breanna Taylor, rest in peace. We love and respect you always. Your boyfriend was right for protecting you. He had his firearm. He has his right to bear arms, his register, and he's never committed a crime a day in his life. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. It's only one side of this. If you on the other side, then we understand where you stand. Rest in peace, Breanna Taylor. We lost another black queen, man.